Domo arigato, geek to me radio, da 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 da. Domo arigato, geek to me radio, da 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 da.
Welcome, geeks and nerds, girls and boys, to a brand new episode of Geek to Me Radio. Tonight, we have Louise Sorel, my interview with her, talking all about the various projects she starred in, her work on Days of Our Lives, plus the book she has out now that you can get. All that and more. Stand by.
We're talking TV, comics and movies, and video games. And if you don't know Star Trek from Star Wars, we'll try to explain. There are 12 doctors, 4 Hogwarts houses, 1 ring rules them all. To be the greatest Pokemon master, you must catch them all. You must catch them all. Try to catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
And if you're listening out there in the greater St. Louis listening area on the Big 550 KTRS, hello to all of you. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you are streaming us on the KTRS app or on the website, hello to you. No video tonight. This is a pre-recorded show. It is a brand new show, one you've not heard before. But I am not in studio. It's still end of year. We're taking the rest of the year off, as it were, so that I can catch up on some other work. Obviously working on 2 Rivers Comic Con, the number 2 riverscomiccon.com. Tickets are available now if you would like to go and get your tickets for that. We've already announced several fantastic guests. Dan Reba and Rick Burchett returning. Of course, we have added Andrea Romano, Larry Hama, Jerry Conway, Pat Broderick, Keone Young, and a host of others. You can check out the website, the number 2 riverscomiccon.com, for more information on the guests and the tickets. That will be happening April 25th and 26th at the Steel Shop in St. Charles. Very proud to be hosting it there in historic St. Charles again. More to come on that, more guest announcements. Follow us on Instagram, and you can check out our Twitter page as well. It's at the number 2 Rivers Comic Con, just like the website. Easy enough. That said, we have a fantastic show tonight. I'm going to dive right into it here with my incredible guest. The term legendary is often applied to different actors, but I think my next guest certainly deserves that title with the many roles she's taken on, including one of my personal favorites of Vivian Alamain. I'm joined by Louise Sorel. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Here in the New York weather. Yeah. We're waiting for the snow to come.
Oh, we just got it. We're here in St. Louis, and we got hit hard.
Oh, you got it?
Yes.
Oh, God, it's so beautiful. I know it becomes a travel problem, but other than that, it is beautiful.
Yeah, whenever you don't have to go out in it, it's always gorgeous.
I know.
So you've been in New York for quite a while. I guess you're used to the inclement weather, though.
Yes, I'm used to it. I actually kind of like it. When I can get the dog covered in something, and
Yeah, no. I've got a Chihuahua Terrier, and he hates getting wet, and he hates the snow and cold even more. So it's always a challenge.
My dog is I somehow adjust really easily to it, and I put a coat on him.
Well, that's great. Because certain dogs love the cold, other ones not so much.
Yeah.
What type of dog do you have at the moment?
It's hard to explain. He's a rescue, and he looks sort of like people think he's a Havanese or Coton, a little white creature that I found in Paso Robles, California. And he's 15 now. I've had him for 15 years.
Oh, wow. Mine's 15, so we've had him since he was born. So, it's dogs are a blessing.
Oh, God, yes. They sure are.
And we may as well start there. Your book that came out in August, I believe, If There Were No Dogs, which yes. I started going through some of the excerpts, and it's wonderful. I love the you can hear your voice in these stories as you're telling these tales, and it paints such a picture of your childhood home and of your first dog, Sir Guy, and I love the book.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I really appreciate hearing that. I've been getting fairly good responses from people, and interestingly enough, a lot of men.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not surrounded with them, but you know, I mean, and I run into people who've read it. I was just doing the Star Trek convention with Bill Shatner, and a lot of people bought the book up there, and particularly men would comment on if they'd read it. So I loved that, the fact that they are responding like that.
And I mean, that you've got obviously a very large fan base, period, but I'm certainly a lot of males with some of the stuff you've been in, like The Incredible Hulk, like Star Trek, Mannix, Hawaii Five-0. You've been in a lot of TV series, a lot of movies and everything like that. So I guess thinking of you as I got to know you as a soap opera person, but there are a large demographic of males out there who also follow your career.
Evidently, I'm not aware of, you know, I'm sort of private to myself, and I'm beginning to find out that it's otherwise. And I did write a piece called Thelma Ritter's Dead, I'm Not. because when somebody runs by all of my credits and things, I think I'm still alive. It's amazing.
Well, it's been an impressive career dating back a little over 6 decades, which is amazing. You've constantly been working, which I'd say is your talent as an actor, I assume.
Well, thank you. I hope that's part of it. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have done all that.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of curious now, looking at some things that I did, and it's so far away. But I suddenly find that I was a French girl. I played Greek. I seem to have had an ear for that, and that was fun. And I got the good roles. They were substantial in terms of, you know, what they were about and the storylines. So I feel very lucky that I did that, and I managed to do it.
And it was such a standout episode. I know a lot of people talk about the Star Trek episode Requiem for Methuselah, where you played Reyna in that. And so I didn't realize, otherwise I would have hopped on a plane and been there. You were just at a Star Trek convention with William Shatner? Yes.
This one is in Ticonderoga, you know, in the mountains up near Albany. Mm-hmm. And this absolutely extraordinary guy, James Cawley, has created the entire Starship Enterprise in a studio. Everything, every detail, every prop, every costume.
I have seen
So he does
that.
tours up there, and people, the Trekkies are just, you know, and they're very interesting people too, because I suddenly realized the science that was involved in the play, in the show, and a lot of very interesting people show up there, and are very devoted to it. So he's done a remarkable thing up there.
Yeah, no, I've seen pictures of that. I keep getting distracted with other things. I'm like, boy, one of these days I got to make it up there though, because I've heard it's incredible. You know, the pictures don't do it justice.
Oh no. I mean, it depends. If you're I suppose if you're a Trekkie, it's even more important. But so many people, it's loaded with people, and Bill was in his form, even though he's, God bless him, he's 94.
Yeah.
But he was up there. We both spoke to big audiences, and it was very warm. People were so receptive and so kind. It's lovely, and they do, you know, Trek conventions during the year in various places. Mm-hmm. I did a few. I did one in Italy, one in Montreal, and one in New Jersey, but I hadn't done them for quite a while. So I was really amazed at the devotion.
No,
people have.
Trekkies are hugely dedicated fan base.
They are, and
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we rewatched. My friend wanted to see the episode I did, and I realized how really complicated the writing was in terms of science, and it was so interesting that, you know, James Daly played Methuselah. There was just a lot of smart people involved with that show.
Yeah, the writing on shows like that, and obviously Night Gallery, too, that you were in that fantastic episode, Pickman's Model, based on an H.P. Lovecraft story. Those science fiction and those types of stories back then had such incredible writing that I feel like nowadays we almost take for granted.
Yes, you're right. I don't think that kind of writing is happening now, and it's a shame. I don't know what... well, I don't want to comment, but I think we could do with some really interesting. I'm sure there are things. I mean, BritBox is wonderful.
Yes.
And Bridgerton, and we don't have those shows anymore from what I know.
Right.
I don't see that.
No, I agree. A lot of the stuff, it feels like we're getting more content, but the quality has gone down because there's 50 streaming services and there's just a fire hose of shows and movies that we're being bombarded with. But it's hard. It's hard to stand out from the noise in this case.
Absolutely, I agree.
So when you're kind of hanging out on a snowy New York afternoon or evening, if you're just consuming content, what kind of stuff do you like to watch? I know you're an avid reader, but if you just want to turn on the TV and watch something, do you have currently a favorite show or a movie that has stood out to you?
Honestly, I instinctively go to TCM.
Okay.
And if there isn't something there, which there usually is, I don't watch a lot of television. Usually it's at night late, and I am a Seinfeld addict.
Oh, I love it.
If I couldn't, I can quote from almost every show. I am so obsessed with that show. Like I'm not a Trekkie, I'm a Signey.
There you go.
And I could have killed to be on that show. I thought Julia Louis-Dreyfus was I would hug her to death if I ever met her. And all of them. Kramer and the book he wrote and Jason Alexander. They are just extraordinarily talented, and it was so witty. Larry David's brain. It's so you can relate to so many of the things they write about, and hilariously funny. And for me, 11 o'clock news, which is the famous thing, the 11 o'clock news. Mine is Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I refuse to watch the news at 11 o'clock at night.
It's depressing. Why would you do that when you can switch over and watch Seinfeld?
That's right. Oh, gosh. That's my addiction is Seinfeld.
My wife often makes fun of me because I've got the entire DVD set, but if I'm flipping through channels and that's on, I'll just stop and watch it. She says, "You own these. Why are you?" I'm like, I got to watch it. It's on.
I understand. Oh, gosh. Yep. It was Lucy, remember?
Yes.
Years and years, 100 years, it was Lucy. And now it's Seinfeld.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite episode of the Seinfeld run?
No, I love them all, but I can quote, I never forgot when Julia Louis-Dreyfus they were at a party somewhere and this girl was complaining about her fiancé. She couldn't find him.
Oh,
and
yes.
she had a line in the play where she went, "Maybe your baby ate your fiancé." It's like, please, just the deliveries all over the place, just heaven.
Yeah, we always quote whenever we're out at a restaurant. We'll always go, "These pretzels are making me thirsty." Just little
I just
stuff
said that the other day. That's so funny, James, because just the other day I had some friends over, and I bought a bag of pretzels, and the first thing I did was say, "These pretzels are making me thirsty." I mean, you can't, every day they hit on something of everyday life.
Yeah.
The loss of keys. Everybody's giving everybody else their keys.
Right.
Everything. He just didn't miss anything. Extraordinary.
No, then they finished strong. That final season was some of the best consecutive episodes, like when Kramer brings the Merv Griffin set into his apartment, and he's treating him as a guest. That and the Festivus episode all take place in season 9. It's brilliant.
Yes. Yep. And what's his name? Who got his immigration was taken away. He was so funny.
Babu.
Yeah. Babu, you're very, very bad man, Jerry Seinfeld. Very bad man. Oh, please. Honest to God.
And the
he
funny
was
thing,
wonderful.
They're doing conventions. You talked about the Star Trek convention. They're doing conventions now, and I've seen the Soup Nazi, who's the actor's name now escapes me. He's now doing conventions. He's signed and he's doing conventions.
Oh, is he?
And Phil Morris, who was in Phil Morris was.
For you.
Yeah. Phil Morris, who played Jackie Childs. I had him on my show last year, and he's hysterically
was brilliant.
funny. He's so good.
And who was his father?
An
actor.
Yeah, because his father was in the original Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And his first name's escaping me right now.
I know, me too.
But he obviously he was in the 1988 revival of Mission Impossible, and his father came back and played his father in the series. It was really cool.
Oh, please. Just what a gift.
And
what a gift to have.
And you've been on, obviously Seinfeld would have been great if you could have been on it, but all these other great series we mentioned. But I want to talk for a moment, if I can, about Vivian Alamain, because my grandmother moved in with us after my grandfather passed away, and my grandmother had to watch her stories. So I became a Days of Our Lives fan because of my grandma. And I remember when your character, Vivian Alamain, first came on the scene, her first day, she shoots some guy who shows up in Lawrence's home. I said, what an entrance. Who is this? And you captivated my attention. From then on, you were automatically one of my very favorite characters on that. And you must get that all the time. She does. And we're going to talk about the fan mail she gets and some other topics as well. If you're not already in love with Louise Sorel after hearing her gush about Seinfeld, I don't know what to tell you, but we're going to get into some more of it with Louise Sorel. If you're just now listening, my name's James Enstall. I host this show every Sunday night here on the Big 550 KTRS, Geek to Me Radio. We're going to come back and talk more with Louise Sorel right after this. Please stand by.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Eric Martzoff. You might know me from Days of Our Lives. You might know me from Smallville, Rideshare the series, or maybe I ran into you in a grocery store. I don't know. But you are listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Well, we come back with Eric Martzoff since he co-starred and did some fantastic scenes with my guest Louise Sorel on during their time together on Days of Our Lives. But before we get back to Louise, I want to make sure we tell you about the official and premier sponsor of Geek to Me Radio, Discover St. Charles. The website, of course, discoverstcharles.com. Very proud to have them as our premier sponsor for the entirety of my time on air. When I first launched this radio show in 2016, I went to a few select sponsors, some businesses that I worked with previously, and City of St. Charles was the first one to say, yep, what can we do? How can we help? And they've been with me ever since. They do a great job. The festivals they put on, if you missed Christmas traditions this past December here, that we were going ever since Black Friday ended on Christmas Eve. Absolutely wonderful time. It was jam-packed on Christmas Eve, and I love seeing everybody come out. They're shopping with the local merchants. They're spending their money locally with these small businesses that all reside here in our state, right here in our backyard, and they're having a good time, smiles on their faces. They're watching the carolers sing. They're interacting with Jack Frost and Susie Snowflake, and it is a great time to celebrate the holidays, no matter what time of year it is. If you're celebrating the upcoming ice festival that they'll be doing, where they do all the sculpting of the ice blocks right there in front of you, or if you're coming out for their Once Upon a Valentine's Day festival, maybe you're coming out for Tartan Days in April to celebrate the Celtic side of you, or maybe you're doing Halloween with Legends and Lanterns. There is not a bad time to visit St. Charles, and I say visit. If you're local and haven't been there for a while, go check out the small businesses and the amazing shops like First Capital Trading Inc., like Cozy Shop, like the Cardinal Sin Distillery, or like the Hot Works. If you like a hot sauce, that's the place to go. All the different flavors they've got, it's insane. And if you're looking for some good food, you can check out the Main House. You can check out Lewis and Clark. You can get some fantastic barbecue at Salt and Smoke. If you're wanting something to satisfy that sweet tooth, check out Sugar and Slice. Like I said, these are all these businesses I named. These are small, independently, locally owned businesses. Get out and support them, because when they're gone, that's it. And it's all the big box stores. Everyone complains about Amazon and Walmart. Do yourself a favor. Bypass them. Go get some really, really cool stuff, whether it's a gift. You've got some stuff coming up for birthdays. You want to do something special for Valentine's Day coming up. All sorts of ideas can enter your head. Start with the website. Let you be inspired there. It's discoverstcharles.com. That website again, discoverstcharles.com. As we always say, it's an historically good time. Chatting with Louise Sorel for the hour here. I'm not live in studio. If you're wondering why the video is not up, this is a pre-recorded show, but I'm giving you a brand new show. I'm so excited. I recorded this interview with her in early December, and I was trying to find the right time to play it. We had live guests come on, so I'm very excited to bring this to you before the end of the year and closing out strong with such a fantastic, dynamic lady. So with that said, before we took that last break, I'd asked Louise Sorel about her role as Vivian Alamain. I said I was a huge fan growing up, watching the show with my grandma when she moved in, and I'm sure she gets accolades from people that she meets all the time for playing Vivian Alamain.
Well, I do get some fan mail, yes. You know, it's so hard when you played the character to be objective about it, but I really am very grateful to the writers because they gave me such mad, crazy things to do. Some of them I will never forget, like being a box of French fries. And and some of, I mean, I was so grateful. At the time, I thought, this is idiotic. But I realized what a gift it was. And particularly working with Yvonne,
Yes.
who lives now in New Mexico, I thought we had a wonderful connection. And I'm sorry they sort of dropped all that. I think that would be something they could use, but that's not my position to say. Because it was comedic
Yes.
as well as everything else. And I think it's essential. You know, no matter what's going on, you need that kind of comedy to alleviate things.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
No, that's exactly right. And it was interesting to see how your character kind of developed. I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the writers were really leaning into your strengths. It's like, oh, Louise has great comedic timing. Let's turn that up a little bit, because you could see it go from much more sinister, as we mentioned in your first appearance, leading into the more comedic and even slightly absurd at times, which it just worked for you so well.
Well, I think a lot of that was James Riley, who I didn't really spend time with him because he wouldn't talk to the actors, but evidently he was a great storyteller, and people told me how wonderful it was to sit around with him. But he's the one that wrote a lot of the madness. And at the time I thought, what the hell is this? But then I realized what a gift that they gave me. And then I wouldn't say I'm difficult, but I care a lot about what I'm doing, and I used to drive them crazy with questions and things that I felt, needed a little more attention. I just can't help myself, because I come from that kind of discipline in the theater, where you kind of make things better and better. And in soaps, it's difficult,
sure,
because financially their time is much shorter. They don't have the time to do a lot of things that you'd like to do. So you've got to come up with it quick.
Right.
And I tried. I think I tried, and I was grateful for a lot of the stuff they wrote.
Yeah, and I remember specifically the very first time you won for Outstanding Villain in 1994, when you got up to accept your award, you thanked the writers for whatever they're smoking, which I thought was hilarious.
That came back to me.
Did it?
I tell you something, that was the top of my head. I had no reference to that. It was just my dark humor, but it was not amusing to certain people, which I won't even mention.
Oh, no.
Somebody said, "Oh, darling, you've done it." It was Michael Logan, who wrote for Soap Opera Digest. Or I guess he was. No, he wrote for the television. What's that magazine? Television. Anyway, very smart guy. But he called me and said, "You've done it." I guess it sort of came back that some people didn't appreciate my reference. Oh, yes. It was a joke.
Sure.
I had no idea. I was just saying it's my humor.
Yeah.
But it evidently hit on a few people.
Oh, no.
We won't go there.
Well, like Ricky Gervais said, offense is taken, never given. So they just chose to take offense, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yes. Some people thought it was funny.
Yeah. I laughed out loud. But,
oh, well.
and you went on to win consecutive Soap Opera Digest awards for this particular character you're playing. And
yes.
Obviously for the buried alive scene with Carly when you're rolling around in the dirt on her grave. And I love the turnabout, because we had Eric Martzoff on the show a couple years ago, and I mentioned he buried you alive in the sarcophagus when you were trying to put Maggie in it. And he goes, "Oh my gosh, you're really a fan if you're knowing all these details." But I love the little turnabout that they did where you are now the one buried alive, essentially.
Right. Yes, that's true. That's what they did. I thought it was pretty funny because I don't remember, I did something with my shoes. I was just lying there, and I don't know if they caught it on camera, but I don't know. I seem to remember something about complaining about my shoes while I was lying in a coffin, which I think they had. I don't know.
I feel like they left that in because that does sound familiar, that you were just, oh, I wish I'd worn different shoes.
Yeah, or something about that.
And
oh God,
the work you've done in the soap operas, but also going all the way back, you started on Broadway in New York with Take Her, She's Mine, Man and Boy. You even did a touring of The Lion in Winter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
having those stage sensibilities. From what I've told, a lot of actors who start in the stage, A, it's always their first love, but B, that really helps them hone their craft for TV, for soap operas.
Well, it does, because there's so much discipline involved when you're working in the theater. You have a lot more time, of course, and directors are on hand, right there with you, and you have to do a lot of or you're supposed to do a lot of homework and thought about what it is you're doing in the character and all the details, and you can't help but bring that with you, even though you're being rushed through things. And quite often I think, oh my God, I wish I had done this or that when I watch a little bit of my work, which I don't very often. But it's a discipline, which I think helps a lot. Getting the lines down is another issue on soaps. It's very difficult.
Oh, sure.
You could have 10 pages in one day, and you get the script the night before.
Oof.
On occasion. So it's tough. People are working very hard on those shows because of the lack of time.
Yeah.
And the real rehearsal period that an actor really needs. So the theater provides that, which is wonderful. It's like cooking or something, a meal, and all the ingredients that are involved, and you get to use all the ingredients, which you kind of don't get to do in a rushed situation.
Oh, sure. But I know a lot of people we've talked about who have been in soap operas. Like we've had Teo Penglis on from Days of Our Lives before.
I love Teo.
And just the stories he tells are amazing. But every single person has pointed out that if you're in soap operas, that's possibly one of the hardest gigs to work because you are on that time crunch. You've got to memorize it.
Yes.
And it really does serve you as an actor going forward.
It does. And I love Teo. We've been friends for years and years and years. And he's so bright. I mean, I'm hoping to go to Egypt with him next year.
Oh, fun.
He's like an Egyptologist at this point.
Yes.
Very, very bright man and just charming and a great cook on top of everything. So, yeah, he's lovely. It is a tough job, soap operas.
And I want to ask also, because I've seen it. I believe it's the picture that's used on your IMDb page, and also I saw it on your wiki page that you with Don Rickles on the Don Rickles Show, which for my money, still, if I had to put a Mount Rushmore of comedic geniuses up, his face would certainly go probably in the Teddy Roosevelt spot, if I'm being honest. But what an amazing mind. I go back and watch his clips. I'll go through Facebook and I'll see a clip of him on Johnny Carson, and then Facebook starts sending me more clips of him on David Letterman and some of his celebrity roasts. How did you find working with Don Rickles?
Oh, I adored him. I cannot, he really wanted to be a serious actor, I think. Mm-hmm. And, he did a movie, whatever that was. He did a movie that, I can't remember, it was a war movie or something.
Yes.
And I used to go to see the dailies, which they show you, after you shot stuff. There are dailies, and I would watch him work. And I kept saying, he's such a good actor. He was a good actor. And he wouldn't hurt a fly, even though his humor was pretty rough. If he thought he really hurt somebody, he wouldn't be able to bear it. He was a very big a family man. And on the stage, I would tease him. Like I'd go over and touch his forehead or sit on his lap or something. And if Barbara, his wife, were in the audience, he'd yell out, "Barbara!" He was really devoted to his family, and he was so sweet. I don't think he knew his ability as an actor. I think he wanted to, I think he wanted that, but he had this ability to do what he did. And I was very touched by him. I thought I just adored him. It was hard getting through scenes because Bob Newhart would come on.
Right.
And forget it. We couldn't look at each other. It was unbelievable, the laughter that went on. So that was a gift, even though they really should have moved us time-wise. They killed us.
Yeah.
It should have gone on, but they had us in a bad slot, said they would move it, and didn't. Yeah. So it's a shame.
Do you remember, what was the process like of getting the part of Barbara Robinson? Do you remember, was it a lengthy process where you requested?
No,
do you remember?
I was tested. That was it.
Okay.
It was quick.
Good.
Thank God. Yeah.
That's always the best kind, if it's not a lengthy audition process or, I'm going through another chemistry read or something like that.
I was amazed that I got it because I'd been doing all these heavy serious roles, and basically my instinct is comedy. Mm-hmm. So I just somehow or other, whatever that test was, it worked. Yeah.
And I want to talk about the book again. If There Were No Dogs, I was almost brought to tears. You tell the story of you coming back home to find out that Sir Guy had passed away while you were gone, and you missed him coming up the driveway. Like I told you at the beginning, my dog's 15. We're starting to see health issues. Kind of, I'm like, I'm bracing myself for it. It's just the worst. The only bad thing about dogs is they do not live as long as we do.
No, it's horrible. And the thing is that I've learned, because I've now had 9 dogs in my life, and everyone has been shattering to lose. But somehow I know they come back in another form.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way I can see it. It's so hard. It's the worst part of it.
Yeah.
And yet we choose to go through it because they're such a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't even know how. I've never actually lived without one in my life, except for a few years in New York when I got a cat, which I love. I love cats, but because I couldn't have a dog the way I was living. But after that, it was a dog forever.
Yeah.
And they give you so much, and you mourn them. I mourn like mad.
Oh yeah.
But then you find another creature, and they all come to you in a way. They're all with you.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. No, I firmly believe. I've always said that you don't pick the dog picks you, because with my last 2 dogs, I've gone in for a completely different dog, and somehow I end up leaving with obviously the perfect dog, because this is the one that I've now fallen in love with, and it kind of has come up to me and put its arms on me as I'm reaching down for a different dog. Oh, well, let's see what this one does. And he's the one we've had. It's amazing.
Do you ever watch where you are? Is Lucky Dog on there on Saturday mornings?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've watched it.
Oh, this guy, Brandon, he saves dogs from the pounds, and he finds people who asks for specific things, like if a child is, has emotional problems or et cetera, various issues. He finds dogs and trains them for that purpose, or whatever that family needs. He goes and finds dogs and saves them and trains them and gives them a whole new life. He is a hero. He's just spectacular.
I know I've
find that show. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah, I know I've heard about it. I'm making a note to myself now to look for it. I don't know. Am I going to cry, Louise? Is this going to bring me to tears a lot?
You might. You might.
It's rough.
It's so moving.
I couldn't even watch the first John Wick movie because I was told, they kill his dog in the first movie. I said, no, I'm not watching it. I can't.
No. I understand that. I have a little sign on my living room that says, I don't care who dies in a movie as long as it's not a dog.
Right. I feel the same way. And I love, too, the stories about when you're growing up. You specify in the book, your dad's a film producer. Your mom is a concert pianist and an actress. And just the life you had seemed wonderful. And then your dad brings you home this dog, and you're buying your first car for you, the convertible.
Yes.
It seemed like such a magical childhood, especially the one part in the book you describe. You look out your window and there's a dinosaur staring in the window at you.
I know.
So the dinosaur in the window, that's a story as well. If you are listening right now and you're as intrigued as I am by Louise Sorel, the book is If There Were No Dogs, Musings and Mutterings. It's autobiographical with a lot of cool stories thrown in about her childhood. It jumps around, which I like. It's not a linear path. Like, she'll tell a story, then there'll be a little bit of a poem. It's a fantastic book, and we're going to have a link for that in the show notes. If you're listening right now, I should say if you're listening in the podcast form, scroll down to the bottom of the page. We'll have a link there where you can check out Louise's book, If There Were No Dogs. We are going to take another brief commercial break. We're going to come back in just a moment, wrap up the interview with Louise Sorel. You're listening to Geek to Me Radio on the Big 550 KTRS. Please stand by.
Hi, this is John Delancey, and you're listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Unless you think this is a Days of Our Lives radio show, it's not. I just happen to have those two people. We had John Delancey play Eugene on Days of Our Lives, and fun fact, Eugene was paired up with Arlene Sorkin, who went on to play Harley Quinn in Batman the Animated Series, the voice of Harley Quinn. She was Calliope, Eugene and Calliope, one of the great couples from Days of Our Lives. And here I am talking with Vivian Alamain herself, Louise Sorel. We're going to continue that chat in just a moment. But first, I want to make sure we tell you about our visual comic book sponsor, Bugs Comics and Games. If you are looking to get out there and pick up some new comics in the new year, maybe you've made it your New Year's resolution. You know what? I'm going to start buying more comics. Or you know what? I'm going to check out Batman comics. I want to be more of a DC guy since Jim Lee, the president of DC Comics, made that big announcement that they are not going to use AI art in any of their stuff with DC Comics. He came out very strong against that, which made a lot of people happy for the right reasons, I should say. Then you might want to go out and tell Larry, hey, I want to start a DC Comics pull list. This is just me telling you now, people. If you want to start a good pull list, make sure you add World's Finest to that list. Mark Waid is writing it. Dan Mora's fantastic artwork on that series has made it one of my favorites. Plus, it's set a little bit back in DC Comics past, so it's back when Dick Grayson was still Robin. Then Bruce and Clark are just getting to know each other as Batman and Superman. It's a fantastic read if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet. And you're like, well, you know what? I want to do that, but I don't want to start now. It's already on issue 46 or 47. That's okay. Tell Larry you want some back issues. And while you're there, join the Avengers Club. That way, when you get these back issues, you're going to start saving money as you buy them. So why go to a regular place and pay a full-priced markup? A lot of times, if they're newer books and they haven't budged in value, Larry's going to give them to you for cover price. So he is not one to gouge people at all. Normally, he'll look at a book and he's like, well, its price is this, but I'm going to give it to you for this if you want it. He always does that. He's a great, great guy, and that's one of the reasons I enjoy going up there. Than I have been visiting him for the past 30-plus years, back when he had his store up in Florissant. And he quit for a while, went and taught at university. Now he's back, opened up his store again. I was so excited when he did this, and I immediately jumped in and was like, yep, where is this store? How do I have to go? Where am I going to get there? And I'm still buying my comic books from Larry to this day. Bugs Comics and Games on Instagram. You can check him out there. If there's something he posts, you want to see something you like, buy it and say, hey, I want that comic right there. He'll send you a PayPal invoice. You pay the invoice. Boom. He'll ship the comic straight to your door. I know he's had several people do that since he's posted stuff on Instagram. So maybe your local comic book store closed, but you still want to, get into the comics. That's fine. Follow Larry on Instagram, Bugs Comics and A&D Games, and he can be your local comic book store online. His Facebook page is active too. You can check him out, Bugs Comics and Games on Facebook. Give his page a like there and keep up with him, and he'll post new comic book news, fun memes, and of course sales when he has those. So check him out. Very proud to have them as the official comic book sponsor here on Geek to Me Radio, Bugs Comics and Games. Before we took that last break, we were chatting with Louise Sorel, and I asked her about growing up in a household where her mother was a, trained pianist, and she was an actor, and then her father was a film producer and worked in the studios, and just kind of like, this was must have been a very interesting childhood, to say the least.
I would say it was a rather bizarre childhood.
Okay.
Really, can you imagine this? Yeah. I think it's pretty strange.
But I feel like that's with a father doing film production and your mother being an actress and a singer and a concert pianist. Was Hollywood just kind of, did you feel like this has got to be what I'm doing? Was there any other alternative for you ever at some point?
I don't think so, but, I wasn't really, my mother was a concert pianist. She was called the New Garbo, but she never really ended up she did one movie and then met my father, and that was the end. Mm. And so all I was exposed to was classical music, books, not much Hollywood, because my father was gone all day. I didn't know what he was doing until later. I really didn't. I wasn't at the studio except once or twice as a child, and I didn't understand what he was doing. So I think what happened was when I was in high school, you have a choice of science, math, various choices, and I saw the word drama, which I think I was already experiencing. So I thought, I'll take that. That looks easy. And the teacher that I got was my mentor. He saw something. He threw me on the stage doing John Millington Sing and Medea, and I didn't know what I was doing, but that was it. I don't think my parents really my father certainly didn't think I should go into that, since he saw actresses all the time and no, not happy about that.
Yeah.
And my mother was sort of actually very influential because I would come home crying and saying, I can't do this. They give me something impossible to do. And she said, yes, you can. And she'd sit with me and show me how to do things like how to play age and how to lower my voice. And she just was like a teacher for me. So that's where it started.
And
it wasn't Hollywood at all for me.
Yeah. No, and then you obviously moved to New York, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, history. Well, I'm old.
I mean,
I don't feel old.
I was going to say when you just did some work on Days of Our Lives this year, and you don't look like you've aged hardly at all since you first came on the scene in '92. So whatever you're eating or drinking, you're doing it well.
It's my mother. It's genes. It's not my mother's name was Jean, but it's genes. I thank God for my mother because otherwise I don't know what would have happened. But thank you. I'm very grateful because I sort of recognize that. And I don't really do anything out of the ordinary. I mean, clearly I don't do what a lot of actresses choose to do.
Yeah.
But so far I'm hanging in there.
That's good to hear. And I'm assuming, as I found it interesting as I was reading the book, obviously your mother spoke French. You were around French all the time. You studied French in Paris, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of those
South of France, yeah.
Yes. A lot of those elements kind of show up in Vivian Alamain. She's speaks French, very sophisticated. Did you kind of bring that to the character, or was that kind of already in the script, which kind of like blended itself? I
think I brought that in. I do think I brought that in, but at one point they wanted me to. I was supposed to be a French. I don't know why. I was a French girl for some reason. So I think I went and worked with someone. I don't know why. It's like when they said I was going to be, they didn't say it, they just wrote it, that was sort of a hyperthyroid Heidi with Robert Mandan. I don't know what the hell that was, Bo Peep or something. And I said, well, this is really horrible. I said, I'm Bo Peep? Well, then I have a sheep? Yes, you have a sheep. Well, then you better get a sheep. They said, what? They were going to, have a stuffed creature. I said, well, I've got to have a sheep. So they said, oh, okay. So they got a sheep. Well, needless to say, the sheep was very confused, didn't know what it was doing there, and proceeded to release, if you might, if you want to visually know what I'm talking about, on the stage, on the very expensive Chinese rented carpet.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. That was... not good.
That's why W.C. Fields said he would never work with animals. So there's that.
Yeah, well, I would, but they didn't want to do that, but they did. Bless them. It was mortally embarrassing, but anyway, I guess that's I'm annoying.
No, well, it's that attention to detail, like you said. You wanted it to be done right, so that goes back to that.
Well.
And I'll end this. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'll end it by asking, what was the inspiration for If There Were No Dogs? What finally made you decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to get this down. I'm going to put out a book. Did friends kind of say, oh, you've got these great stories? Was it something that was kind of always percolating in the back of your head?
Well, I've been journaling since way back early on, and I had pages and pages and pages of things that I wrote. And I would read a piece to some friend, just to hear it, and they said, well, that's good. Why don't you do something? And I didn't. So all of this is actually not suddenly written. This is all history. These are all pieces that were written at a time, way back. And I just sort of threw and some more recent. But most of it was journaling that I had done, which was not always journaling. It's, it might be about other people or poems. And I just thought, maybe I should just put this together and see if anybody's interested. That's how it happened. I didn't sit down and suddenly pour this all out. It's all been, I still have a lot more, but I chose things. And this wonderful person who's an editor that was suggested to me, I called, and he's the one who edited it down and, said, do you want this? Do you like that? What about this? Edited through. And I think he did a really good job. And put it in an order so that childhood was coming up first. I would never have known how to do that. So that's how it happened.
And so you said there's more. Does that mean we might get a sequel?
Well, the other thing that I had written, and then COVID came, was a book called Madison on Fifth. I had a dog named Madison, and he gets lost. This is the story I wrote. And he ends up trying to come home down Fifth Avenue once he gets back to Madison. We're on a plane, and he gets taken by the police because of something that happened that did happen on a plane with me. He wasn't taken by the police, but I went further with it. And he gets away from me and the police, jumps into a limousine to get away at the airport, and gets out because he sees a big sign that says Madison Square Garden. And he thinks that's where he lives. So he gets out of this limousine, and he realizes it couldn't be where he lived. And now he's lost. And he wanders all the way up to Fifth Avenue and down Fifth Avenue to find, it's a love story. I am searching for him. He's looking for me. And we end up at the Alice in Wonderland statue in the park where we used to go. So it's a love story.
Aww.
And it's all written, and there are a huge amount of slides that I can't find now. And he meets on the way, meets a little French poodle, and they speak French together. and he tells him there's a cocktail party at Tiffany's, which, in fact, there was a dog's cocktail party.
Really?
By accident, I found out. So I took him, and I have pictures of them serving bones, biscuits to dogs on trays at Tiffany's.
That's adorable. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so that's the book I wrote, and now I can't find the slides because I really would like to get that out.
Well, hopefully you can come across that. That'd be fantastic. I love it. I love anything like that with dogs. It's great. And I know you just did a live event, an afternoon with Louise Sorel at United Solo back in November. How did the event go? Do you plan to do any more of those?
No. Well, my friends were there. Something went awry because they usually do evening performances there. Quite honestly, it was a matinee, which I guess they don't do often. So it wasn't well attended because something, I don't know whether it was the press or whatever, but there were like 30. It should have been a lot more, and it didn't quite work. But evidently I was all right on stage. I read from the book. And then they gave me some kind of a strange award called the Interactive Award, which I still do not understand. I don't know. Anyway, it was what it was, and it didn't quite go the way I thought it would. But, they wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And with the Star Trek convention you just did, are there any more upcoming events in 2026 that people might, if they want to meet you or pick up the book? Oh,
I haven't orchestrated yet. I think I'm going to do an audio as well.
Oh, great.
People said they liked hearing it read. I don't know yet what's going to be the next event. There's a very lovely PR person on the coast that's just gotten in touch with me, Lori DeWall, whom I worked with way back.
I know Lori.
And okay. So she wants to work with me. I'm just trying to figure out what to do next. But there is another big Star Trek convention next June, the 60th.
Oh, that's right. My gosh.
In Ticonderoga. So that'll be huge.
I'm putting that on my calendar right now. I got to go to that one because it would be so lovely to meet you in person. And like I said, I'm sure with the book coming out, and hopefully you'll be even busier in 2026, and hopefully they'll bring you back for another stint on Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, it doesn't look too likely now because most of the characters I worked with are gone.
That's so sad. Oh my gosh, I was heartbroken when we lost Drake.
Oh boy, what a sweetheart. What a sweetheart. Oh, my God. And John Aniston.
Yes.
That was a big
and
loss.
Joseph Mascolo as well. I was like, oh, my gosh, what is happening?
Oh, God. I know so many losses. Peggy's gone.
Yeah.
John's gone. Drake. Oh, God. I know.
That's why they need you on there.
Bill Hayes. Gone.
Yes. Yeah. They need you, and they need Susan Seaforth Hayes still on there. They need the classic characters. So if anyone from Days of Our Lives is listening, bring back Louise.
Well, I can't say anything, and I don't know what they're doing. They've got new writers, and from what I hear, well, I don't want to, it's not the same. That's all I know.
Yeah.
So, it's not, I can't. Not my problem.
But it sounds like you've got enough to keep you busy with the dogs and with the books and everything like that. So it's an absolute delight to talk with you. Are you very active? Is there people, if they want to find out more about you, is there a LouiseSorel.com? Are there social media handles that you're on at all?
The only thing I do is, I mean, I don't do anything other than Facebook. I don't have a special site or anything.
Okay.
I've just never, I don't know, it just never occurred to me. But I hear, I see things on Facebook, or I get fan mail, et cetera, which obviously everybody can get your address now.
Right.
But I don't have any, I don't do a fan site or anything like that.
Okay.
I'm shy of that, honestly.
No, that's some people are all about it, and some people as Betty White said, it's a huge waste of time. So
God bless her.
Yeah.
Big animal lover.
Yes, she was. Oh my gosh, I always loved seeing her specials that she'd do for the adoption and everything like that. It was always fun.
Yeah.
But hopefully we find Madison, your book about your dog Madison. That would be fantastic to see that come out. And again, if you're listening right now, If There Were No Dogs is available. Ask your local bookstore to order it. We always encourage you to support your local bookstore. But if not, you can get it online. It's
on Amazon and at BookBaby.
BookBaby. We'll put a link to that as well in the show notes. So if you're listening to this after the fact in the podcast form, scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll find a link there where you can order the book. It's an absolute delight to speak with you. I've been a fan forever. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you. My pleasure. Have a good Christmas. Have a good holiday.
You too. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
What a delightful individual. I'm just over the moon. Sometimes I get to talk to these people who I grew up watching on TV, sitting next to my grandma in Louise's case, or I get to, chat with the late, great Kevin Conroy. And I've got to meet these people now and talk to them. And the times I got to meet Nichelle Nichols, who played Lieutenant Uhura in Star Trek, and just when I look back, we're approaching my 500th episode, which will be happening the last Sunday of January. By the way, if you've got any suggestions, I'm trying to think of what I can do. I don't know if I want to do something really big or just kind of bring it back to basics, keep it small and simple for my 500th. So if you've got an idea, do me a favor, send me an email, geek2meradio@gmail.com. In the subject line, put 500th idea. Let me know what you think I should do for my 500th broadcast, 500th episode, and I'm taking suggestions. I'm open to it at this point because I've got no idea what to do. Joey V and I have kind of knocked about a couple ideas, but I'm going to be casting a net to see what everyone thinks I should do. Something fun. I want to do something fun. It's my 500th episode. We celebrated the 400th with announcing Two Rivers Comic Con happening this past May, which we love doing that. It was so much fun to bring in Carl and Susan and Maria and Phil and Dan Reba and Alan Burnett, these people I've gotten to know and now consider friends. We brought in, obviously, Rick Burchett's here locally. We didn't have to bring him in, but my gosh, he did our poster art for us. 3-time Eisner Award winner. I'm friends with this gentleman. He did our poster art for us, and they did it again this year if you've seen the posters out of Punisher and Batman and Storm Shadow. We're bringing in Keone Young, which is just incredible. And, of course, Andrea Romano. The icing on the cake is we're bringing in Andrea Romano, who is just the most wonderful woman. I think if I was to be on a long transatlantic flight, if I had Andrea on one side and Louise on the other side, I could easily endure a transatlantic flight. No problem just talking to the two of these remarkable women. But, yeah, if you've got an idea, let me know. 500th, just put 500th idea in the subject line. geek2meradio@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. We've got some stuff maybe possibly happening, but I don't know. I'm not sure at this point, and I should know because we're only 4 weeks out, and it's terrifying me. But also, I want to mention again, Two Rivers Comic Con, since we just talked about that, the number 2 riverscomiccon.com. You can go there now and get your tickets. Get them early. The earlier you get them, the better. Because if we see that revenue being generated up front, we might be, you know what, let's add another guest here. Because we had a lot of ticket sale push at the end. We were able to add Carl Lumley at the last minute this past time. There's a couple people on deck who I'd love to bring in, but it's just a matter of finding the right balance of comic book talent and also the voice people who we're going to bring in. We'd love to bring in some other people. I've already spoken with, I'd say, half a dozen different people, and it's just a matter of whether or not we're going to be able to pull it off. So we still have vendor applications open as well. So if you want to become a vendor at Two Rivers Comic Con, you can do that. Just go to tworiverscomiccon.com, the number 2 Rivers Comic Con. Click on the link there where it says submit for vendors, I think, or there's a question or a contact us tab, and just say, hey, we'd love to be a vendor. We'd love to set up. Here's what we sell, and we'll send you the information in the email about the process. Easy as that. I do want to thank, once again, DiscoverSt.Charles.com. They are our official premier sponsor here. Help keep this show on the air here at the Big 550. Well, I want to thank them. I want to make sure we thank Bugs Comics and Games, our official comic book sponsor here, and just all the people who have helped us out lately. I know we've done a lot with mostly superheroes. Chef Liz at Tenacious Eats. And I just want to extend my personal thanks to everyone who came out and made my last season in St. Charles Christmas tradition such a wonderful time. It was just heartwarming beyond belief to see the turnout of people who came out to wish me well on my final season there. It was bittersweet for sure. But if you came out, then you know how special Christmas Traditions is. Make sure you put that on your calendar for next year. Don't miss out. But we've got a lot of stuff left to do. We've got some interviews that I've already taped that will be coming to you very soon, and we're excited to share those with you as well. So make sure, if you haven't already subscribed to me on YouTube, make sure you go to youtube.com, Geek to Me Radio. Subscribe, hit that little notification button so you get a bell. Follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Geek to Me Radio. I am on Twitter and on Instagram at Geek to Me Radio, and Threads. I've been doing really well on Threads lately. I find it very engaging. So if you're not already following me on Threads, follow me there, leave a comment, and you can say hashtag 500th idea if you want to leave your idea for what I should do for my 500th show there. Thank you, as always, to Joey V for making this show sound and look as good as it does. I would not be doing this nearly 500 episodes later without him. Until next week, my friends.
Mario Kart. It's not in the way you look when you make Game of Thrones references. That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio. That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio.
Thank you, Salem. Good night.